didn't he do a impersonation of Bobby? He did an impersonation of R.F. Kennedy Jr.,
Did he?
didn't he? SNL. Yeah, I thought he did something with, if he did, Rob, I don't know if we can show it. Can we show it or no?
Yeah, commentary.
Okay, if you want to show this, which one is in here?
But if Trump wins, he gets 4 more years on SNL. That's a bad?
That's a good thing for him, right? But where is he? Is he coming up?
He comes in.
Okay, let's see.
I just wanted to tell you again, I'm so honored to be the head of the Health and Human Services.
How's the reaction? Watching it, how are you processing it?
I watched him in his 1 Academy Award nomination. When I watch these things, it takes me back to when I was a little kid. So he gets nominated for The Cooler. Now, I don't know if you ever saw that movie,
no.
But he's wonderful in it, and it's a cool movie. Billy Macy, and so it's one time Alec gets nominated Best Supporting Actor, and so and I didn't see the movie. It was an indie. It's rare that a film like that gets these kinds of nominations. But so of course now my brother's nominated for an Oscar. I got to go see the movie, and I watch it, and I called him and I said, "That's what you got nominated for?" I go, "You got nominated for making fun of the fathers of every Italian kid in our neighborhood." We've been doing that voice and doing that character for 50 years, and now he gets nominated for an Oscar for that. I got a great story to tell you. What are the odds of this happening? So, did you see the movie 8 Men Out?
Say that again?
8 Men Out.
Hang on 1 second.
Very famous baseball story.
I have not.
About the Chicago Black
Charlie
Sox
Sheen
scandal.
and I've not seen it.
So, during the research, John Sayles, the director, is researching Matewan, the mining story, and he sees all this press going back in the clippings and everything about the Chicago White Sox fix the World Series. So the character is Chick Gandel, who's the first baseman on the White Sox, and he knows from one of the other players that they're going to fix the game. So they're in a bar, and he walks up in the bar. And he wants to tell some kind of story to let these guys know he'd be in on it without saying, so-and-so told me you're fixing it. So he goes in and he says, hey, Bubba, and he tells him this boxing story. And he said, my nose is broke, my eyes shut, and I'm stepping on something underneath my feet. It's the other guy's teeth. And I'm thinking to myself, Bubba, but we messed up. What I should have done. And I stand up from the table, which is not in the direction. And I say, I hit him a few times, pow, pow. And I say pow, pow, and I throw 2 lefts. He hits me a few times, pow, pow. And later on we meet and we split the money 50-50 and nobody gets hurt. Now I'm in the waiting room and Barbara Clayman, one of these, or whoever it was, legendary casting director, says, I don't know, he's doing some movie, Beetlejuice or some other movie he's doing right now. He's not available, but his brother's out there, looks just like him, and he played baseball in high school. Chick Gandel is described as the strongest hands in baseball. He's a tough guy. So I'm going, wow, they wanted Alec for this. This is beautiful. Alec can't do it. I play baseball, World Series, let's go. So I go in and I do the audition. She tapes me. They call me back. John Sayles would like to meet you. I said, great. I go in, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this a big movie. Early in my career, I go in and Sayles goes, so obviously you rehearsed this with your brother Alec. And, and actually we were interested in Alec for it. So I'm very interested. And I went, I did not rehearse this with my brother Alec. He went, it's okay that you rehearsed it with him. It's obvious that you're... Barbara, could you get Alec Baldwin's tape and bring it in here, please? And they put it in. He stands up and says, pow, pow, and throws 2 lefts. He takes 2 rights and goes, and later on we meet and we split the money 50-50 and nobody gets hurt, and does the exact same 3 pantomimes that I did that were not in the script. How do you get this guy to believe I did not rehearse that with him? But you know what? That's how similar sometimes it was in that house. That I watched myself do that thing and I thought, he stole my shit. Now I'm not going to get the movie. And I didn't get it. He
didn't get it either. I mean,
he was doing something else. He wasn't available. So I thought I was in.
So the only person that knows the validity of the story is Alec. 100%. It's just you and him.
If he remembers auditioning for that movie, yeah.
Yeah.
There's been a few of those, though. There's been a few of those where I've watched him do something and I go, I did that and blah, 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 blah. Or he did it and then I stole it. Because I thought it was cool.
Was he the better actor? Was he the best actor in the family, in your opinion?
No, I don't know. How do you say that someone's a better actor? There's certainly things that he does very, very well. He certainly was the more successful theater actor. I mean, he's been on Broadway. But nah, I I don't believe him that much in the action films and stuff. I think I beat him in that category. Is there really? I don't know how you can say better. You know, I'm not sure you can say that. I remember reading really nervous. I was reading for Steven Spielberg for Jurassic Park, and in the waiting room are some big actors. You know, and I'm like, why am I reading for Steven Spielberg? I mean, come on. You know, I mean, this is for the lead to play the paleontologist that Sam eventually got. So I go in, a big Amblin, huge table. They walk me in, and I get to the end. He goes, "Did you get a chance to read the book?" And I've never met Spielberg, and he's already a huge legend, right? And I said, "Yes, sir, I did. I read the book." He said, and I said, "I read it twice." And I said, he goes, "Okay, great. Well, listen, I'm very interested." Now, I've never been thrown in an audition before in my life. Okay.
Thrown
off base. Like I'm usually ready. I'm pretty intense that way. And so he turns around and he said, "Do you have any questions?" I said, "Can I be honest?" And he goes, "Yeah, go ahead." I said, "Why am I here?" I said, "You've got 4 Oscar-nominated actors out there reading for this character. I imagine because of how old they are." I said, he goes, "You did Ned Blessing, His Life and Times, that movie." And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You played Ned?" And I said, "Yes, I did." And he goes, "Well, I tried to buy the rights to that movie to make it my next Indiana Jones. I want to do a series of 3 movies." And Bill Whitliff, who wrote it, said no, he wanted to do it as a TV series because he thought there was 50 stories.
Who's telling you this?
This is Spielberg.
He's telling you this.
Spielberg. I'm sitting in the room to audition for Jurassic Park without asking him, why am I reading for this when, all these giant actors are out there? So he goes, "Well, so logically when the TV movie came out," he said, "I watched it." He said, "And you know what? I think you're going to be the next Gary Cooper. I think your subtleness and the way you portrayed this character was seamless. And because I watched that, I asked them to bring you in because I think you'd be good to play the." Now, Steven Spielberg just told me that he thinks I'm going to be the next Gary Cooper. I'd pay for that to be able to, have that in my career. So I'm sitting there, I'm going, Steven Spielberg just said I'm going to be the next Gary Cooper. He goes, "Are you ready to read?" And I went, and I got half a page down, and I went, "Can I stop?" I realized I wasn't on, and I said, "Do you mind, Steven, if I go in the other room and I refocus?" I didn't tell him why. And I went in, and they brought in, Sam Waterston or whoever it was, they eventually got it. Billy was one of the guys who, so they said, if it's, if he's 50 and up, it's this guy. If he's 45 to 50, it's this guy. If it's 40 to 50, it's Daniel Baldwin. If it's 35 to 40, it's Billy Baldwin. Billy was up for the same character in the room waiting. So I leave. Of course, I didn't get it. They went with the older actor. But I remember walking out of there thinking to myself, wow, Steven Spielberg noticed my work. He noticed what I did, and something completely different than this. Again, that and a $1.50 get you on the subway. But I remember taking that with me. I remember taking certain things, because you asked the question of who's the better actor. I've never won a big major award in acting, but I've won a lot of film festivals and a lot of things. But I'll say this. I'm proud to be able to say that I've worked my entire career, that I always still have another movie coming out. I've directed movies, which none of my brothers have done. I've written several movies, which none of them, well, I guess they've rewritten, but I don't know if they've written any, and certainly none of them ever directed. I've even directed all of my brothers in films. And I've also done documentaries, which none of them have done, that they actually wrote them, directed them. And I did one that I'll turn you on to. You got to watch it.
How competitive are you guys as brothers? Like, is it a super competitive environment?
It is, but I think that when you're talking about the acting thing, how do you not acknowledge that Alec is, he's the biggest star, There's no kind of, that was that commercial I did that, he's a big movie star, So I never got to be a big movie star, but I've gotten to be a very successful character working actor. And what I found is that my niche is probably in directing, that I'm a pretty good director.
You're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write, ever. Fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me, and he read the book. And afterwards, it's like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak working with the Shah, that they escape and he gets recruited to a secret society. Well, when you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time. And they test you. There's unique tests that they have at the society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. You can set up a debate between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand. Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So, I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're gonna enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed the order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm gonna put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.